They cry and run away. Vim will make you so bold that every question you attempt and challenge if questions are wrong. O-level. There were questions you challenge. It was left for just remarking. Mr. Headmaster, it was just for remarking. We had Headmaster 2. He told us he won't do anything. His children in army supporters, they have also failed. I'm talking about 1989. So most of our mates did not come to 6-4. They had to rewrite. Meanwhile, we held the second mock, and you can't even count the D's. Not the ones, the D's. Only for our headmaster to follow up. And it delayed. So the remarking, it was rough. So Mr. Headmaster, we are there to help you. Whatever it is, defend the students and we'll back you. As a giant, you are imbibed with whatever to survive outside the walls. Our teachers we met never taught us only about the arithmetic and whatever we are doing in the classroom. They taught us social life. We were pure science. Unfortunately for us, when we got to Form 4, they turned the school to pure science. So some of our mates left and went to other schools, and they were shipping the government and other general as like something. But we managed ourselves because of the discipline that we had in the school. They will call you. They look at what you were doing in O-level. A-level, we have challenges. They will call you and sit you down and talk to you as a son. So see these ones as your sons. Apart from giving them this rigid education, give them life education too. And they will add up and they will be all rounded. Giants are all rounders. My senior act of administration, once you have moved from this to that, add value to yourself. The moment you hit management, you qualify for everything and anything. Prepare yourself personally. Personal preparation pays more than the one you do generally because there is always a competition. We started, I said 5. Out of the 5, I'm the only person I'm reporting to the deputy commissioner. And I told you someone is strong. If you see the gap between chief inspector and deputy commissioner, all because I went and studied whilst they were thinking of blowing time. So please, blowing time. Some have blown better than you. Know your time. Your time in school is for studies. Some of us, we have friends who lived in GSTS as if what they are doing doesn't matter. What you will become depends on how you manage yourself here. Thank you so much. I hope you are
Other questions for the speaker? This one, motivational speech. $5,000. Motivational speech. Your last What if they were already Speaker, thank you very much. I'll be sad. So, last 3 minutes for the day. The last speaker and then presentations, and then we'll call it a day. So So at this point, we'll invite the GAA Global President, Chief Professor Kevin Abakwe. And now we have Chief Professor Kevin Abakwe. He is the last speaker for this afternoon's program. Thanks. Stand up. Thanks. Stand up. I get to wrap up this event. A lot of the things that I'm going to say, a lot of people have already mentioned, but I will wrap it up. Okay? So, first of all, I'm very class. Thank you for being here. School management, thank you for being here, and all of you, thank you for being here. I meet with students almost every day. I meet with students almost every day. I am a professor, and one of the things we do is we teach students, but we also advise students, right? And a lot of times the advice is with what they want to do. A lot of them have started programs that maybe are having thoughts about whether they want to continue, whether they want to change, or what they should just do, right? So this is something I do almost every day. This day when I left here, I went back to the hotel, checked my email to see if any of my advisees had sent me a message, right? Because we are registering for next semester, and a lot of questions come about career. One of the things that I tell my students is that it all starts here. At least in your case, it starts here, right? It's a journey. Your ultimate career is going to be a journey, and you have to start here. If you start thinking about your career at the university, you are already late, right? And if you think that you're going to start about what you're going to do after you leave university, you are also late, right? So some of the things that everybody has talked about starts right now. One of the first things you guys have to start thinking about is your grades, right? You have to make sure that you're getting good grades, because with the good grades, you have options, right? If you don't have a good grade, then you are limited, right? Things like some of the areas speakers talked about, civil engineering, architecture, electrical engineering, being difficult courses to get into. It's not because those courses are difficult. Architecture might be the same as material science, or civil engineering might be the same. In fact, in most cases, you take a lot of the courses together, right? And at some point, you start taking different courses to specialize in civil or material or electrical. So it's not about the courses being difficult. It's just that those courses are competitive. Everybody wants to be a civil engineer, and the department can take only 30, right? So if the department can take only 30, then those who have the best grades get into it. So your job now is trying to get the best grade that you can. I don't know about the grades that you have, but I guess the lower grades are like 6 to 10 or whatever. Trying to do that. One of the students said he's an average student. If you're an average student, try to be an excellent student. If you are below average student, move up and become an average or even a better student than that. For those who are good, try and get the best you can. 8 8s, right? Once you have that, you have options. Schools will look at you. So that's the first thing. Get grades. Get good grades. The other thing that you have to do is you have to also be disciplined, right? You can get good grades, but if you're a person that nobody wants to hang out with, or nobody wants to work with you, your grades will get only as far, right? So make sure that while you're in school, you develop a reputation where everybody knows that this guy is not just good academically, but is somebody trustworthy, somebody who has good character, somebody that if they approach the teacher for a reference, they know that the teacher is going to write them a good reference. Those things become very important. And sometimes I tell them that at some point, your grades do not matter. If you look at the university, especially in the US, what we do is that take, I'm sure you guys have you guys heard about MIT? Yeah. So take MIT. Everybody registered, everybody applying to MIT is probably the top students in their school, right? So everybody has aims. So as a school, what else do we look at, right? We're going to look at what you've done outside of academics. We're going to look at things like your leadership things. We're going to look at your character. Those are the things that we look at. As for the 88s, I will tell you that in a school like MIT, probably 90% of the people coming there have 88s. So it doesn't become a factor anymore, right? And the other things, so what have you done in the school? This is where extracurricular activities come in. Zaro was talking about just listening to him, the things he did in the school, right? An athlete, he was school prefect, all of these things require a lot of effort. Personally, like him, I started when I was here as the House 8 secretary, right? And then I became a drum monitor. And then I was involved in anything that I could get. I did debate, I sang in the choir, I did debate, I sang in the choir, I was in the photographic society, right? Everything that I could get my hands in on, I did. And I think some of those things have helped me to this day, right? I'm able to run this association because of the things. I haven't done an MBA, right? But the things that I learned in school, how to manage at that very young age is what has translated into what I do now, right? So every one of you try to see what can I do, right? Think about something you can do and see let's say. The other thing that we also want you to develop are what we call soft skills, right? Soft skills are things like I'm doing right now, public speaking, right? Even sitting, talking to people, learning how to eat in the dining hall, right? Using fork and knife, all those things are little things. Dressing the bed in the morning inspections, all those things were part of what we did at GSTS, and we developed those soft skills beyond academics, right? And if you're a GSTS student, you hopefully got here because you got to grade. So we know that you're going to do well academically. But what are some of the other things that you can do to enhance that thing that you have to read in order to do well in a career setting? Other things, and then I'll wrap up. Develop your network, right? Develop your own network. A lot of jobs that I personally got were because I knew people, right? Starting from when I finished my PhD, I wanted to find a job. My advisor said, you know what, the school that I did my PhD was a much more smaller school, well-known but still small. He said, apply to a well-known bigger school. So I applied to Harvard Medical for my postdoc. That's where I did my postdoc. When I was leaving, they said, go to this guy's lab, another lady who was big, but she was at Boston University Medical School. So I went there to do another postdoc, right? And then when I finished, I did some research and I was like, I don't know whether I want to do research for the rest of my life, right? Because it takes a lot of time. I go to work in the morning, and sometimes by 8 o'clock, I'm still stuck in the lab because if the experiment is not done, you're not going home, right? So I decided that I want to move more into teaching and balance it with a little bit of research rather than full research job. When I was looking for jobs, for those of you who don't know, it's difficult for a black person like me, coming from Ghana, to find a job in academia, right? If you go to most schools, we are less than 1%. But it took a reference from someone that I know, right? He said, take it there. And I know that other things also factor into it, right? So, in the end, I got a job. And like I said, even after working there for 15 years, we are still probably less than 1% or 2% when it comes to black people on the faculty, right? So, make sure that you build a network. I don't know if you guys know what a network is. A network is people you kind of interact with. Fortunately for you, you have the GSTS Alumni Association, right? And I want every one of you, when you leave here, to immediately join us. Because within our group, we have all sorts of people, engineers, we have military guys, we have everything, right? All you need is somebody that you can talk to. I want to become an engineer. I want to study in the US. What do I need to do? Right? Having somebody guide you is like 60 to 70% of the job, right? So please make sure, don't go away and we'll not hear from you. Some people probably have never come to this school since, or returned to the school since they left. A lot of us, unfortunately, don't hang out with our friends, right? Please belong to the network. Once you belong to the network, you will be able to tap into the resources that we have. For those who want to study in the US, when you come over, we have a North America chapter. There's a lot of giants in almost everything that you can think of. From NASA to where I study, right, or where I teach. You can just send me an email, join our meeting, and we'll point you in the right direction. So don't forget your network and make sure that it's part of things. I made those because I don't want to be on the plane and say, I left this out. Okay, so let's talk one last thing about careers, right? When you're thinking about careers, one of the things you should think about is first, what life, right? If you don't like your career, once you get it, very soon you'll be trying to find a way out. So you want to enjoy the career that you ultimately get into. So that's one thing you should think about. The second thing is, does it pay? Right? At the end of the day, it's money, right? A lot of people will not tell you that, but at the end of the day, it is money. So you can have a career that you like, but if it doesn't pay, and I always have this discussion with my students. A student will come and say, for example, I want to do social work. In the US, there are a lot of jobs there in social work, but it's not a well-paid profession, right? Now, if social work is what you really want to do, because you want to help people, fine, go ahead. But I also make them know that, you know what, for the same efforts that you're going to put in here, if you look at these other professions, you might be, the difference could be, let's say, 90,000 a year versus 30,000 a year as a social worker, right? So you have to kind of think about those things as well. But at the end of the day, some of you have families, you have to take care of the family, and no matter how good your job is, if you cannot pay the bills, it will become very sad very short, right? So you want to make sure that you think about both of those things. And from the alumni point of view, we want you guys to have a lot of money so that we can come and get money from you, right? We're going to get a presentation later on a council of alumni. You guys are going to be supporting the school in the next 10 to 20 years, right? And we want to make sure that you guys get into good professions so that when I call you, yeah, so I'm looking forward to you and saying, can you please help us with the relation? Can you please say, you don't tell us that, or you know what, I don't have a job, right? We want you to tell us that. Give me 5 minutes and check the mobile, the money will come to you. And that's one of the things that we have done, especially you see the big group here. These are the people who have supported the school anytime we've asked, and it's because most of them got good jobs that we help, right? So please think about that when you're also selecting. Develop yourselves. Our careers are going to change. I just told you guys that I changed from a purely research job to teaching, right? I was able to slip in a little bit. It was easy for me. I had taught as a national service. That was my only experience teaching. I taught as a national service personnel when I was in Ghana for my national service. I taught a little bit as a graduate student. They told me when I was applying for jobs, they told me that graduate student teaching is not really teaching, right? But they added all of those things. So when you get an opportunity to do something, don't think about it as something that doesn't matter. Don't say that I'm going to be an engineer, so I'm not going to teach. Do and do it well. So that when the time comes when you have to make a change in career, it becomes much more easier. Almost all of us sitting here have probably changed careers one way or the other. And it's going to happen. In fact, for you guys, it's going to happen very quickly. Now we are having AI and machine learning, and I keep thinking, with all these things coming, in order to be at the top, you should be very qualified, right? So don't stop, set your goals high, right? I tell students, if you can get the master's, get it. If you can get a PhD, get it, right? Don't think that you're going to leave here with your high school degree. At the minimum, every one of you should try and get a bachelor's degree. And then also keep setting the goal high and move up. Hopefully, I'm sure that all of us are going to thank you. We have a lot of presidents, at least global presidents. Let's do it again for me. So, any question, any contribution? You guys are tired. You say yes. You go breathe, and complain breathe. Who tells you you are tired? Do your big man or previous 50 years, not Papa Brian or how where you say you are tired. So, at this point, question. You have a question? I should have a question for the contribution. Short question. Let it be short. In fact, very, very short.
When you were in school, there used to be a kind of examination which gave students opportunity to study abroad. I don't know whether it is still going on. SAT. And then the TOEFL.
Yeah, those exams are still there. The SAT and TOEFL. So TOEFL is for English, right? And SAT is a combination of math and also English. We have, in about maybe until I guess 3 years ago, North America chapter sponsored people who wanted to take the SAT. We have a scholarship. So if you want to take the SAT, we will pay for you to take the SAT. Unfortunately, we were not getting that much people applying. A few of the giants who took it at the time. So one of the things we were seeing is that they were doing very well on the math, but not doing too well on the English, right? If you want, so education or higher education in the US is very expensive, right? And the only way some of us are able to get through, or we're able to get through, is because we got scholarships. If you want to get admission to a US university, unless your father is very rich, and some of you might probably fall into that, but if your father is not rich, you want to get a scholarship, and you want to get a full scholarship if possible, right? They can give you 50,000 or 50% scholarship. MIT, for example, is $90,000 a year, right? So if they give you 50%, you are still paying 45,000, which is kind of a little bit more than most of us can afford. But if you score very high on the SAT, right, meaning that a good score on the math as well as a good score on the English, right, you are likely going to get a full scholarship. Especially if you show your parents. I know that most of us here, myself included, if you show your parents income or earnings, you're all going to fall under the $60,000 threshold. Right? I don't fall under it. If you fall under it, you're likely going to get 100% scholarship. And it's not just MIT, a lot of schools have in place those things. So what I would encourage you guys is take English seriously. Read. Every week, try to read a book, right? In addition to all the math and everything you do, read and practice. And if you can do that, I'm sure we're going to see better scores from the English. And I promise you that we'll point you into schools or the direction where you're likely going to get a scholarship.
Thank you so much, Madam President, please, I'll ask that you stay on the stage and then we continue the program with some presentations. So at this point, I would want to call Captain Peter Diamond, Actuarial Officer, Forces Pay Readiness.
The
GSTS Alumni Association, and my fellow co-students, the head, management, and staff of the school, students, are there ladies among us? No ladies, okay, and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We are here to make a presentation on behalf of senior giants and fellow giants serving in the Ghana Armed Forces through the GA to the school. This is to support the 150th anniversary and beyond. We have the 150 pairs of military boots to support others. We believe some of these boots will be used for common free and for the training and other activities of the GSTS Cadet Corps. I must add that the Giants military charter, which will be inaugurated soon, remains committed to supporting the school in diverse ways in uplifting the image of Grace Mother School. This is not the first time. In the past, we have made donations to the Cadet Corps by donating military accoutrements and band instruments to the school. I must say that we remain committed and there is more to come in the future. At this juncture, I want to wish you all a happy anniversary and let's have a good show. The cadets will be here to support you. And then the inauguration as well. So let's have a good show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, senior officers of the Ghana Armed Forces. This is not just we are not done yet. I have in my hands another giant who has also presented mufflers for the school cadets. Giant Ebenezer Kofi Esau is presenting mufflers to the school cadets. And then in addition, Reverend Dr. Perry Pearson is presenting colors for the yet to be inaugurated cadets for the Air Force and then the Navy cadets and the Army and the school. So Reverend Doctor is also presenting these items. So let's do the presentation. Aha.
Which picture?
Sunday. Andrew. So Papa Global President, all these are for the school.
Thank you very much. Giants military chapter of the GA tomorrow, right? We will inaugurate them as the chapter of the GA. I don't know if some of you know, but we have about 140 officers, 7 officers in the military right now. On behalf of the GA, we thank you so much for this donation. Over the past week, one of the jobs I do as global president is I call alumni and ask them. And over the past 3 months, that has been calling me and telling me, are we going to get the stuff? And about 2 weeks or months ago, we had received news that we were going to get a flag, we knew that we were going to get an office, but I had no clue how we were going to get the boots. So I told people that we will get it. And I said that because I knew giants. I know that giants will always come from, right? So we had an executive meeting and I said, there's one group that I know if I asked for something for the giants, for within 2 weeks, can't do, and that's the giants in the military. So I sent a message to William the this year, and he said it will be delivered before Saturday, and we have delivered. It is your property, make sure you keep them well, right? Make sure that that's how you choose your shoes, you treat it so that you'll be there for some, hopefully, years, and we get to replace them when it's necessary. So thank you again, and I will have a question. Emma. So, Mr. Headmaster Management, it's my pleasure and honor on behalf of the Giants in the military to have over these items to you, like I said, use it, enjoy it, keep it well, and then hopefully tomorrow we're going to see you guys here for the first time, and I hope that we all enjoy it. So,
on behalf of the management and board of governors of this high school, I want to show our greatest appreciation to you, Mr. President, for always being our better and call, and to you, the Giants, the military. But if this is not an act of being sarcastic, and I don't know how I can decide this one and finish this afternoon. So we say to the Lord, we should bless you. And we promise that we take good care of these items. But this one is our own. And so rest assured, and then see us. Yes, I know those who have this time. So we are already the base setters. So we are grateful to you. Thank you. I also hand over to you, Mr. Asma, be the NIC of the Cadet Administration. Take good care of these items.
Oh, keep clapping, keep clapping. In fact, as they take their pictures, let's be on our feet and sing the blessing song for them. As they take the pictures, let's sing the blessing song. Why are all okay, so 1, 2, go.
were singing like, until you will back. Go! Very good. Very good. Bless them for us. Bless them for us, O Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super. Next year, we'll have for times, we'll be doing an inspection of all the 150 booths. So, please take your seats. Please take your seats. Take your seats. Please take notes of these announcements. After this session, all House 5 members are requested to stay back in the school auditorium. You have an important meeting with your house master and the senior house master. Ali House. Ali House. Ali House members, you are meeting the senior house master and your house master immediately after this session. The regimental band members, the cadets, all the wings, the Navy, the Air Force, and then the Army. You also stay behind and then meet. This evening is dinner. Purchase your dinner tickets, the GA Endowment Fund dinner. The tickets are selling at the old school library. It is selling at 150 Ghana cedis, 200 Ghana cedis, 200 Ghana cedis, 200 Ghana cedis. Go to the library, purchase your tickets, and come for the dinner. As the dinner goes on, there will be a movie on the school field for all of you. There will be a movie on the field for all of you. At this point, we'll call on Separate Kando, the SRC Secretary, to give us the votes of thanks. Separate Kando. Separate. To give us the vote of thanks. A round of applause for him.
The GA President, distinguished alumni, the headmaster, management, fellow students, good afternoon. Special thanks goes to the Almighty God who made today's program a success. On behalf of the students of GSTS and the entire GSTS community, I extend my profound gratitude to our parents for their unwavering support and unrelenting passion. We promise that whichever investments made on campus will be protected, sustained, and maintained. Once again, thank you.
So thank you, SRC Secretary. Vice President of Wanwanti, also Sarah, Communication Practitioner. Thank you, Senior also. We'll call on Madame Mrs. Comfort Kobe to give us the closing prayer. Let's be on our feet. Let's be on our feet. Ask Madame gives us the closing prayer.
Most High God, we are grateful for a wonderful day. You have carried us from 1st of January to today, 1st of November. We thank you for life. We thank you for our great school. We thank you for the lives of our great alumni and the wonderful things you are using them to do for the school. We thank you for the management, the board of directors, the staff, and the students. You have been so good to us. Father, once again, we are in your hands. We pray that you continue to help us to do all that we have to do to make this as we leave here to prepare for the float and other things, rekindle our energy, strengthen us, give us joy, help us to get involved, and learn a lot from all that is going on, so that our lives will be impacted to be better people in future. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen. So we'll be floating the streets of Takoradi at 2. We'll be floating at 2. And then yesterday we cautioned you that if you are not in what I am wearing, what was given to you yesterday, if you are not in it, please don't join in the float. Please, with all due respect, if you are not wearing the burgundy colors, don't join in the float. That is an announcement for the Saturday. Organist, please give us a song as the dignitaries move out of the auditorium before the students will also sing. Outside members, sorry, are you house members? You are meeting. The senior house master and then your house master. And then all the candidates of all the wings and the remainder band, you are also meeting. Thank you very much. For the sake of those, please listen. For the sake of those who didn't get the t-shirt, you have been given a leeway by the president of the GAA. He says, put on your white t-shirt, and then join in the float. He has given you a permission. Those that didn't get the burgundy white t-shirt, organist, we are in your hands. As the dignitaries fall out of the assembly hall. Joseph's bottle of Governor House, someone in the front of the auditorium. Please stand there. As the school management examines recess. Please, those that have been given the chance to wear the white, please, it should be a white identifying GSTS. Yes, if you want to wear the white, it should be a white that identifies GSTS. We know why we are saying this. We don't want any trouble in town. Please. And you know what I'll do to you when I find you misbehaving. So please, make sure you heed to the instructions that we are giving. So those that you get later on, after this program or after the homecoming, your t-shirts will be available. Those that you get. So as we go to town, wear your burgundy, if it is white and identified GSTS white,
Thank you very much. Enjoy your lunch. Ali House, stay back.